Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. It's Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach, the CEO and founder, alongside of my beautiful wife and business partner, Mrs. Levita Pyers, of the most incredible tax educational platform called the Academy of Financial Education, where we teach the masses what the school system is forbidden to teach, and that is that the more you know, the less you will legally, ethically owe in taxes. The more you know, the less you will legally, ethically owe in taxes. So I'm getting my car service, and I figured I'd go ahead and get a little exercise in, get me some steps in, and turn on my smartphone and have a smart conversation with you guys about what's happening right now in the economy, what's happening politically. I'm not really going to get into too much on the political side. If this is your first time visiting my channel, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the like button, or hit the dislike button if you don't necessarily like this content. I'm going to get away from this street here because I know that background noise is probably going to be a little irritating. Let me show you guys something real quick. It's really cool. Look at these clouds. Let me see if I can zoom in. Look how cool this layer of clouds look against the mountaintop there. So as I scroll over here, there you go. You guys can see how the clouds are sitting slightly below the mountain. I'm here in California, so we get a little bit of everything, including high taxes. Okay, so all right, so let's jump into conversation. I'm not going to keep you guys long. Look, I've got a lot I want to talk about, again, because I'm walking. The sun's going to kind of be behind me at sometimes it's going to be in front of me, but we'll get around this corner. Man, where do we start? Massive job layoffs. We got Mr. T in the house, in the White House. You guys know what I'm talking about. We got Mr. T in the White House. We got ICE immigration issues all across the country, right? I'm going to keep my own opinion and perspective, to myself on that one, again, because I don't want to get so much into the political realm of things. I want to talk to you guys about how you can start protecting yourself, okay? I want to talk about what I've been teaching since 1994. I want to talk about the things that you can put in place that will help you financially position yourself and your family to be able to survive what we're dealing with right now in this country and around the world. Stock market is like a roller coaster. So investments are not necessarily a sure bet, right? But you got to find a way to get your money to grow for you. You got to get your money to work harder for you without requiring you to exchange your time for your money if you want to survive this financial tragedy that's happening. The first thing we got to do is we have to be honest with ourselves. We've got to stop being, I want to be nice here. We got to stop being stupid. We got to stop thinking that someone's coming to save us. No one's coming to save us. You have to save yourself. What do I mean? What am I talking about, Mark? What do you mean no one's coming to save us? No one's coming to save you financially. No one's coming to get you out of debt. You got to get yourself out of debt. You got to keep yourself out of debt. You got to get financially educated. You got to be willing to say, you know what? I'm going to turn off that idiot box, aka the TV set. That television that's telling you a vision that is an illusion. And that is that if you don't do some things differently financially, it's not going to work out well, guys. I'm just telling you, I'm not here to give you doom and gloom. I'm giving you the truth. Okay, you've heard, here, there I go again. You've heard the term inflation. I've been teaching about inflation since 2002. 2002. I really went deep on my channel, and unfortunately I deleted a lot of the videos, teaching about inflation, teaching about why it is important, why it is vital for you to understand. Listen to this, here's a golden nugget, why you should be saving in physical silver and gold. They're not going to tell you this. They're not going to tell you this. Let me go ahead and put a disclaimer, because here I'm about to get really hot, and you want to definitely grab a pen and a paper. One thing you'll learn about me is I don't get on these videos scripted, but God has blessed me with so much knowledge that when I get on these videos, I'm going to share so many life-changing nuggets, so many life-changing scenarios, so many life-changing points of view that if you put them in place, you're going to be okay financially. You ready? They're not going to teach you this. They're not going to teach you why you should, why, in my personal opinion, it is vital. It is critical. I'm looking for it. Look, it is detrimental to your financial survival if you don't get what I'm about to tell you, because we have been bamboozled. I'm not here to sell you on doom and gloom. I'm not here to, look, we're not going to beat up the government. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it absolutely real. If you have not been taught that if you're not saving, not talking about investing, saving, there's a difference between investing and saving. Saving a portion of your money in physical silver and gold. Some people are going to get on here, and I can see it in the comments. You can put it in the comments all you want. I invest in the stock market. I invest in real estate. I'm not talking about investment. I'm talking about preventing yourself from continuing to be enslaved by a dollar that is declined and has been designed to decline in purchasing power, to enslave you to have to continue to work for it. Well, I pause for a moment. Because I'm about to get cooking. I'm talking about the enslavement of not only the American people, the designed enslavement of the entire world that took place starting in 1913 in this country. In fact, in 1913, 1933 was a very significant year. I'm not going to get into all the details, but in 1913, the United States monetary system changed. The United States monetary system was handed over to a cartel called the Federal Reserve System, which is not federal. You don't believe me? Go do your research. The Federal Reserve is made up of a group of banks that control our monetary system, that control our money, control everything about your money. You know, there's a saying from a very wealthy gentleman. I forget his name right now. He says, "Give me the control of a country's money, and I care not who makes the rules." Give me control of a country's money, and I care not who makes the rules. And so why am I telling you that it is vital for you to save in physical silver and gold? Don't forget the word save. Let me give you a couple examples why I'm saying to save in physical silver and gold. Because if your other alternative is to save in the US dollar, your financial future is doomed. Why? Here's a track record of the US dollar since it was taken off of the gold standard completely in 1974, but for United States Americans, we were actually taken off the gold standard. Americans were in 1933. President Roosevelt made it illegal for Americans to hold physical gold. Why? Because gold is God's money. You can't manipulate it. You can try to manipulate it. You can't counterfeit it. You can try to counterfeit it. But gold is God's money. Here's the significance of saving in silver and gold, then I'm going to move on. I purchased my first house in 1996 here in California for $146,000. When I go back and I take that $146,000 and I go and look at what an ounce of gold was in 1996, in fact, no, it was 1992, I purchased my first home for $146,000. So if I go and I look at what an ounce of gold was in 1992, and I simply divide it into $146,000, and I look at that current house today, I hope you guys are following me. I look at that current house today. That house today would cost me $550,000. I bought the house for $146,000 in 1992. Today that house will cost me $550,000. Now remember, I said if I take that $146,000 and I look at what an ounce of gold, you guys can go out on the internet and you can look at it yourself. Okay, go out and research. Ask Google, what was the average price for an ounce of gold in 1992? And then you take that $146,000 and you simply divide it by that. And then now you take that $550,000 house today, and then you go and you look at what an ounce of gold is, which is somewhere around $3,400 an ounce today. And you take the same amount of gold from 1992 and you multiply it today, guess what? You're going to end up somewhere around $800,000. That means $146,000 in 1992 in physical gold today is worth over $800,000. That means that I can go and walk in and I can pay cash for that house and still have enough money to furnish the entire house, take a vacation, and still have money in my bank account. However, if I had saved that $146,000 in cash, guess what? I wouldn't be able to buy that house for $550,000 today. I hope you guys got what I just said. I hope you just got what I just said, okay? That's not my only example. My wife and I purchased a home in 2009 for $401,000 was the purchase price. We sold that house in 2016. So we purchased it in 2009. We sold it in 2016 for $556,000. Currently, right now, that house is showing a value of $1 million. So I went back and I did that same scenario. I said, okay, we bought the house for $401,000 in 2009. What was an ounce of gold in 2009? As I simply converted it evenly to make sure that we were comparing apples to apples. And now I look at, I'm giving you an example. These are just numbers. These aren't the exact numbers. So let's say that in 2009, an ounce of gold was $300 an ounce. So I take that $300 divided by that $400,000, and it'll tell me how many ounces of gold is equal to the 400,000. Okay, simple math. Now today, I take that same amount of money, whatever those, let's say it was 50 ounces of gold. Okay, just use the numbers. Now I take that 50 ounces of gold and times what an ounce of gold is today. Again, gold right now is about $3,400 per ounce. What I found is, guys, I can go in right now and buy that house that we sold for $556,000, but we got the house for $400,000 in 2009. We sold it for $556,000 in 2016. I can take the same $400,000 held in gold and walk in and buy that house right now for $1 million, even though the price is inflated. See, because the house didn't get any bigger. This is where we're so bamboozled about real estate. The house didn't get any bigger. The house is on the same block. The house, in fact, the house has actually diminished in value as far as I'm concerned because of the condition. It's in the same neighborhood, and the neighborhood is going down. I mean, homelessness in that neighborhood is outrageous. But the house now is selling for $1 million. The reality is that the house didn't go up in value. The purchasing power of the $556,000 that those people purchased that home for in 2016 has diminished to the point that now that house would cost $1 million. However, if I take that $556,000 that they paid for that house in 2016, and I simply said, how much gold would equal the $556,000, and I held on to that gold right now, I could take that gold, cash it in, and I could go buy that house that is now $1 million for the same $556,000 held in real money. I hope I explained that well. It's so hard to do that verbally versus visually, so I'm going to actually do a video for that. Man, I'm already, 17 minutes, 13 minutes, 19 minutes into this video. I haven't even gotten started. So, number one, if you don't take anything from this, do your own research. If you want me to give you a shortcut, reach out to me. I'm going to put an email down in the subject of this video, and I'll get you to the information so you can see what I'm talking about, right? I'll give you a shortcut so you're not spending a whole bunch of time. And what I know is many of you are going to procrastinate on this information. Many of you didn't even make it this far in the video. One more tip that they don't want you to know. I'm going to give you two more tips that'll make you wealthy, that they don't teach the masses. Number one, if you're not saving your money in a high yield savings account, if you're not saving your money in a high yield savings account, if you're saving your money in Wells Fargo, if you're saving your money in Bank of America, any of these banks, and they're not paying you at least 3.5% for having your money just sit there. I'm not talking about a CD, just sit there. If they're not paying you at least 3.5%, you need to move your money. You need to get your money out of that bank. If they're not paying you to have your money sit in that bank that they're using, you need to change banks. If you want to know a good bank, send me an email. I'll show you one. I love this bank, okay? I'm getting about 3.8% on my savings account. I'm getting 0.5% on my checking account. Number three, if you don't have a brokerage account, I'm not talking about your 401k. I'm not talking about your government controlled retirement account. I'm talking about a brokerage account where you invest your money. Did you know? Man, there's so much. Did you know that you can invest your money in the stock market? Mark, I don't know what to invest in, but you invested in the 401k. Invest in exactly what you're investing in the 401k, except you are in control of this account. There's no government control. There's no penalties because you don't meet an age requirement. But watch this. Do you know that you can invest in the stock market in a brokerage account that you control? No one tells you, oh, you can only, invest in these particular stocks because this is all we offer you. And you can withdraw from that account almost virtually tax-free at any age. Oh, I hope you just got what I just said. You can invest in the stock market no government control, no penalty because you're not 68, 9, 1 foot on a banana peel and 1 in the graveyard, no government retirement restrictions and all of this other crap. And you could have $100,000 in that brokerage account. And do you know that you can take that money out, and because depending on your situation now, I can't give everything in this video, you can actually live on that money tax-free versus your retirement account where you can only touch that money when the government says you can without penalty and are quitting your job, and you're going to pay taxes on it. There's so much, guys. There's so much. I'm 23 minutes in this video. I can't possibly give you everything. There's so much. There's so much. So here's my promise to you, is that I'm gonna continue to share this information. I'm gonna start putting more content out on this channel. Definitely subscribe. I need some water. Definitely subscribe. Hit the like button. If you don't like the content, hit the thumbs down button. Here's what I can tell you. I have nothing to sell you. I hope that I said something in this video that at least got your wheels going, because if you don't get your financial house in order, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. The U.S. dollar has a track record, and it's not one to be proud of. And I love being a U.S. citizen, okay? I'm not knocking the United States of America. I'm just talking facts. The U.S. dollar has a track record, and here it is. And I will put $1,000 up to a donut for anybody who wants to challenge me on this. The U.S. dollar has a track record, and here it is. It has 100% track record of declining in value. That's why that home that I acquired in 1992 for $146,000 costs $550,000 today. That's why the house that my wife and I acquired for $401,000 in 2009 sold the house for $556,000 in 2016 now cost $1 million. It's not because the house went up in value. It's because the dollar declined in value. Well, how can you prove that, Mark? Because the same $400,000 saved in silver or gold in 2009 will buy that $1 million house. The same $556,000 in 2016 saved in physical silver and gold will buy that $1 million house. I'll let that sit there for a while. So guys, with that being said, Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach. I hope you got value from this video. Share this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Hit that little bell for notification, because I am about to get back into the saddle and start sharing this life-changing information. I'm telling you, you haven't seen nothing yet. When you find out what you don't know about the tax code and how you can legally, ethically, and morally reduce your taxes, guys, I'm telling you, what we have been bamboozled. So I got to go. My car is probably ready. I hope you guys got value. I'll see you on the next video. And happy Father's Day to those of you that are fathers.